Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 19th episode of the Fans of DC Universe podcast, the only DC podcast for the fans, by the fans, and the best source for all DC Universe news and discussion on everything DCU. Joining us this week, we have AntLeon.
Greetings.
AquamonC137.
Howdy.
Donnell.
It's a pleasure to be here this evening, Nathan.
And me, Nathan.Payson. So, this week on Fans of DC Universe, we are talking Titans Episode 11, discussing Titans Season 3 renewal, and the Harley Quinn trailer. But first, tomorrow on the Fans of DC Universe YouTube, or at some point, whenever I get around to it, there'll be an unboxing of a special gift I got from DC. So, go check it out on our YouTube channel. And, without further ado, let's jump right in. So, in Titans Episode 11, the Titans were still apart. But, however, they all met up at a diner. And while they were at a diner, Dick came to a major revolution. So what do you think about this episode?
I mostly liked it, despite how did Bruce Wayne manage the greatest subliminal message of all time? And however, I did like Bruce Wayne in Dick Grayson's mind when he was in the prison trying to figure out that Jericho was actually alive. And now my big thing about Jericho is he needs a new body based on the way his powers work.
Well, see, I don't think Bruce Wayne was doing all the stuff, was doing mind tricks with everyone. I think Jericho is. I think Jericho somehow moves through space in a different way from the rest of us. Maybe moves through radio waves and whatnot, and so he can move around very quickly. And I think Jericho's been inside Dick's head this whole time.
I've read just about all of the Wolfman run from the new Teen Titans, but I don't really remember that being one of his powers. I was surprised that they were going with that storyline, where he takes over his dad's body and everything. But yeah, I'm just kind of drawing a blank if he has that ability.
See, I wish I could say I'm surprised by this decision, but we've been talking about this as a possibility for forever,
Well, yeah, I considered it. I just didn't think they were going to go with it.
Yeah, I've no doubt that he's been alive and possessing bodies. That the mystery we're going to solve the next two episodes is which bodies. I do think all that technological stuff where, people are watching TV and they suddenly get the stupid thing about the donut shop. I think that's Bruce Wayne using technology. I don't think that's a brain game. And I think Dick, I worry for Dick, because that stuff going on in prison where he's feverish and he's still seeing.
But how is Bruce Wayne messing with Raven's dreams and head?
Well, that has to do with her power to see things in a vision. So I'm not too worried about that.
But how is Bruce Wayne guaranteeing that she's seeing that? I don't think Bruce Wayne has that ability. I think that's Jericho.
Well, I'd have to go back. Which scene are you thinking of specifically where he does that?
What? Well, Raven knows to go to the diner because she keeps having these visions of this diner.
Yeah, but that might be visions of the future because she knew the rest of the people were going to be there at the diner.
Yeah, maybe.
Bruce didn't fill up in those. We'll find out, right? We'll find out. But again, in general, I felt like as I was watching it, and I was very open about saying this during the when we had a watch along Friday, that I just thought it came off like somebody had hit in the head with a 2x4 and then wrote it, and it was just all over the map. Very much Deus Ex Machina, I believe you pronounce it, Nathan, the proper. Where suddenly it's Bruce Wayne. I knew it wouldn't be correct, and that's okay.
See, Donnell and I made this bet, and then I won. And it was he was like, no, it's Deus Ex Machina. I'm like, no. No, I think he even wrote it's Deus Ex Machina or something. I was like, no.
I used to say Deus Ex Machina because I never heard it said live, right? So, but anyway, it's fun. It's fun. But anywho, and we're still going to figure out someday, folks, why Nate's taking Latin aside. But
I'm not taking Latin.
Priesthood. It's a Latin phrase. Anyway.
Okay, but oh my god. I'm not even going to justify
how do we
myself.
keep it on track while the moderator's out of his mind, too? Anyway. Just saying, buddy.
Is Donnell just cracking himself up right now?
Well, I'm telling you, the episode, Jericho definitely the sign language from Deathstroke. He certainly seems to have been in Deathstroke. Although again, why? That's the mystery, right? AquamonC137. You've read all this stuff. If Jericho's doing something devious like he did in the comics, why would he bother using ASL to signal people that he's behind all this?
Yeah, like that was like those dots weren't connecting for me.
What did he sign?
I got no idea what he signed. I wish I had taken that instead of German.
We were told it's help me, but he was saying help me in sign language.
Oh, so like possibly he jumped in there just so he wouldn't die, even though like his body died, and now he's kind of trapped in there, possibly like Deathstroke, because the 90% factor, or whatever,
No,
with his
I think
brain
he
is able
jumped
to
in.
actually control him.
Well, I think he jumped in there temporarily to prevent to stop Deathstroke from coming and trying to kill from and stopping him from killing Dick. And because like Deathstroke seemed very ill.
But
And initially, like when he's turned around, I initially thought it was acting, but now I wonder if it like he was just faking it because he doesn't want to tip off Adelaide. But now I'm starting to think that
why?
that he was feeling that way because of Jericho. And then Jericho left when Dick left.
Yeah, but you say that he jumped in Slade's body to prevent him from killing Dick, but like then why would his body have jumped onto that grenade then? Like that doesn't, like if he was already in Deathstroke then, like I feel like he would have jumped in just to not die, pretty much. Like
I
I
think
mean I don't.
it was like a survivor's thing, and then even though they really said exactly like the specifics about Deathstroke's augmentation, but from the books, which was 90%, he can like kind of survive in Deathstroke's consciousness. It's just a matter of getting him out. So he might not be controlling Deathstroke. It's about survival.
Yeah.
He's just body hopping.
I don't think he's body hopping at all. He's in Deathstroke the whole time. It could have been Raven abilities was also in effect when to get the team together, because I think there's a part of her, the soul self, it's like subconscious. So somehow the subconscious, like with the gargoyle, like an episode or two ago, with Raven, just to kind of talk about what we saw there, and also Donna went to go save Gar and presumably Connor, so that should be an interesting turn of events.
Yeah, and like what in the show, like when they were displaying, or he was displaying his power, did his eyes turn like white? Were they not green like in the comics?
No, well, Jericho's eyes turn white when he possesses someone. But the person who he possesses doesn't change their eyes.
No, I know that. I'm saying like in the comics when he goes to change, like his I'm pretty sure they turn green or whatever. But like I was the reason I was asking is because like possibly we hadn't seen Slade's eyes turn white or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like what you guys were talking about in the last, I was listening to the last podcast, and I feel like this one.
You mean when New 52 and I held down the fort and did an excellent job?
I sent you a message. I was sorry I missed it, that your message or whatever. But like I was just super busy, man. Apologies. But like I totally feel you guys.
I'm just teasing you guys. It's fine.
It hurt real bad.
Aww. We did good. We had fun. That's what matters.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Anyway, going back to Titans.
Yeah. So like I totally like, and I was talking about this in like the watch along. Like the last couple episodes have been dragging. I feel like since like the Deathstroke like climax, you know what I mean? Like things have just been like unnecessary filler. And I felt like this one, like I know you were saying you didn't think it put it back on track too much. I thought it did a pretty good job of putting things back on track, because like the last 2 or 3 episodes, I was just like, we're almost at the end. Why are we wasting our storytelling with these these plots? But
I'm not thrilled with what they did with Beef Boy. That's got me going. I don't like seeing him killing somebody. That just doesn't go with the idea of internet.
You can't be vegan forever, man. You need that protein. No? Okay.
AquamonC137.
Well, we're going from one mole to another because Rose called Deathstroke and says, "I'm out." So I think Aquaman was one of the champions on that front, not necessarily being Judah's contract per se, but certainly a mole. So bravo.
Yeah, thank you.
And then Beast Boy, because I like part of the test was Beast Boy telling who he thought was Raven, they put, they operated on me and they put something in my brain, and then that technology works. So presumably Cadmus can provide Jericho with a body.
Oh wow, I didn't think about that. And during that scene, the whole time I'm like, oh man, he's gonna spill the beans on who Batman is.
Guys, what if Beast Boy becomes Jericho?
I will be super bummed out, and I don't think that's a good storyline.
I don't know. I was just thinking, because like Cadmus is messing with poor Beast Boy over there and giving him all these dreams.
That's to show that they're really bad.
Yeah. Because if you were doubting that Cadmus might be a good organization, see, I feel like Cadmus is just one of those. Yeah, I feel like Cadmus is just one of those organizations at this point that you just like. That I feel like we like just gets kind of boring because we all know everything's what's going to happen. Cadmus always gets introduced when discussing Superboy, right? And they're always evil. That's it. What else is there to know about Cadmus? I just feel like they could be a much more interesting character.
Cadmus, the corporation.
They're kind of trying to say the Cadmus is owned by Lex Luthor.
Yeah, but
definitely. But like I feel like they are, building on the Cadmus thing with the whole, possibly using Gar as like a, sleeper agent kind of thing. That's a new take on them.
Yeah, it doesn't feel fresh at all, Like, it feels like we're going down a route the Young Justice almost 100% went down already, right? And that's just kind of frustrating, because I want them to do something new.
Yeah, they're making Beast Boy a killer, and this is the second time he's tasted human flesh.
Oh yeah,
That scene was all about the reaction and just listening and watching what's her face, Mercy, happy with that. We can go to beta.
Yeah.
She was cold blooded. Watching one of her employees just get shredded up. That was.
I mean, the only real new thing that they're doing with Cadmus this season, with this new rendition of Cadmus, is that Mercy Graves is apparently gay. That's about it.
I thought that was just her friend.
No, that's her wife.
No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, but I don't know. It felt like such a thrown in there thing. That's what I don't know. I just think here's my thought with the season so far, especially this last episode. Last episode was real bad. Episode 10, just horrible. Just I almost was like, I was literally woke up on Saturday. I was like, I need to watch this episode for the podcast, but I really don't want to. And it doesn't help that Disney Plus is also going on is also released, and I'm really enjoying all that content. But I was like, I really don't want to watch this episode. And I've never woken up that way, feeling that way about a DC show. And so I guess if that makes sense, like I'm just disappointed in this season as a whole because I've felt that way. And this episode, while it was a much better episode than the last one, had this problem of it's still not what I want from Titans. And yes, it was a better episode, and yes, it had a great reveal, and yes, they finally see some progress on like the Nightwing move and all that. But I also just feel like the seasons just had no coherence. Like I really don't know what the season's really about. And I think it's really hurting Titans.
Except for the fact they got renewed for a new season, so it must be you don't.
Well, if we talk about that, but I guess part of it. Well, they're doing. I honestly kind of want them to just do a Titans spinoff and just take a break from Titans, because I think they don't fully know what they're doing with the franchise. And it's hard it hurts for me to say that, because I was really enjoying the opening of Titans, but this last 4 episodes have just been really rough. Ever since we got that wonderful episode in the past, with where we found out about Jericho's death, Titans have just kind of fallen apart.
I hear you.
I think we'd all agree, right?
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
let it play out. I would say, go Aquaman.
Okay. I was yeah, no, I agree. The last couple episodes have just been where are we going with this? But this was the first episode since the climax, whatever, with the whole Deathstroke thing, that I was oh, I'm actually looking forward to the next episode. I really want to know what happens next. And as far as just unnecessary plots in the season so far, I could totally do without whatever that drama is going on between Hank and Dawn or whatever. I appreciate them throwing Blackfire in there, but I feel like you could have done without it. And just really the slow burn with the Nightwing thing is come on, we all know. And I think you and New 52 discussed last week, so Superman is established, and I think you guys said something about using I don't even know if it was Jericho, but somehow tapping into his memories, Superman's through Connor. You could have still kept the one of the original stories of the Nightwing origin, from the Kryptonian hero. I just I wish they hadn't dragged out the whole Nightwing thing till it looks like it's going to be the last episode, maybe next episode, since that little thumbnail has Ravager in her suit. But I was just dude, just I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like you could give it to us halfway through the season. You didn't have to be at the end.
Yeah, so here's how I feel about Titans, especially now. And there was an article that came out which said that DC originally had a Hawk and Dove spin-off series in the works, and then they canceled it because of I don't know why they canceled it, but they canceled it. Okay, and so I think part of my problem with Titans is it really feels like it's supposed to be the centerpiece of this universe, and instead it's trying to be the entire universe, which is really hurting it. It's trying to tell the stories it wanted to tell through spin-offs in its one series, because it no longer has the spin-offs. And I think part of my struggle with DC's original content right now is they originally said in 2020 it's going to be 2 episodes of 2 different shows every week. And instead it's looking more like it'll be 1 show every week. Maybe. Right? Because we all know, because Stargirl's gotten delayed again. So what's coming out in January? Not in February. Honestly, at this point, if Stargirl got delayed, I don't know. And then Doom Patrol is not till May. And then it's not and then Titans is probably going to be September, August with DCU Unscripted. And then Harley Quinn season 2 in December. Because we've talked about this, but the rumors they split it. But at that point, DC Universe just doesn't excite me this upcoming year, and I'm
there is Bizarro TV too, but frankly, as you're saying all this, don't forget and I'm sure you got the same email if you did what I did, where I subscribed before this even started, right? Over a little over a year ago, I got that letter saying, hey, thanks for your patronage and blah blah. And, hey, guess what? We're only going to charge you $59.95 for the next year. Because we just love you so much. And what they're, I think, really saying is we're charging you less because, to your point, we're no longer going to have as many original episodes as we had planned. It's going to be more of a comic book driven service and all that. I mean, who knows? But that's my suspicion as to why it's a much lower cost now.
I definitely think they're going to be going that route. Sorry, go on, AntLeon.
Well, no, as far as Titans, I would say just let it play out and see where they take us, and we can start speculating about season 3. And as far as the bonus with the renewal, it's for those who did the +3 when signing up, the flagship members, I think they called us or whatever. Which I'm looking forward to, because I'm here for the comics and any of the animated stuff, really. So I'm waiting for Bloodlines next, which is probably going to be in my next year. So here we go.
Yeah,
Also,
and
let's talk
like with
about
the
season
whole
3. Let's talk about
Go
season
for
3,
season 3.
if you guys are ready. So, Titans has been
yeah, I
renewed
mean,
for season 3, and the rumor is it's going to be It's going to be focused on Tamaran and Blackfire. So, how do you feel?
I just don't know how
This
they're
is,
gonna pull that off. I mean, that seems like it would be an expensive budget to, go there.
You know how they're going to pull it off? They're going to do they're going to have Starfire just wait in an arcade machine.
That was pretty funny.
That
I
was.
was
I
I got
was
so
like,
excited. I was like, oh my gosh, she really already traveling in space, and then it was
okay,
just
well, it's so
her
funny because I
her,
had this
her
giant
wasted.
sigh. I was like, are we actually doing this right now? Are we actually sending her to Tamaran right before the season ends? And just like completely making it clear that like Starfire's had nothing to do this whole season? Like, here's my problem. How many times has Starfire actually spent with the Titans? How much time?
Season barely any. I was just
Like
excited
none.
because yeah, I was just excited because if we're gonna see Tamarin, and then because in the comics, they all go there to like rescue her and everything. I was like, if they're actually gonna do that, that's gonna be insane. Um, but
Provided they can
like,
do it.
well, in the books, part of that key was Kid Flash because he was so fast he was able to dodge the bullets in
yeah,
the ship.
exactly. And I was thinking, I was like, oh my goodness, are we gonna get a speedster, man? And I mean, I love Wally and everything, but having a speedster is like one of those like you kind of like he makes a lot of the other people irrelevant because like a speedster can do so much. I mean,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, I think part of my problem, and I was saying this earlier, and this is what I'm worried about with Titan Season 3, is there are so many characters in Titan Season 2 that they're not successfully balancing. And initially, like, a lot of complaints about, like, the number of characters and their ability to balance it, I just shrugged off, because I was like, look, they're doing not a horrible job, and I feel like every character has made momentum. I don't feel that at this point. I don't really feel like Raven's story has gone anywhere, despite like her looks getting a massive upgrade and just looking fantastic. I don't think Beast Boy's had much of a story this year, and I don't think Superboy was a big introduction, but I don't think Superboy's gotten the time he deserves. I don't think Aquaman or Aqualad definitely didn't get the time he deserved, if any real time at all. And then Hawk and Dove was just didn't work for me as the storyline. And I just feel like Donna hasn't really had a whole lot of time to shine. And I just feel like there's too many characters. And I think part of why I really think Titans is going to struggle is because with the spin-offs, they were able to be like, let's let's push the Hank and Don's like Hawk and Dove story, and let's put it to like a spin-off series, and then that way Titans can be focused on like a core group of maybe 6 people. Instead, it's like a core group of like 15 people. And as I've said before, and I said it last week, the best way to handle lots of people is have very well written like stories and just go for the long draw and really like do what Game of Thrones does with its mass amount of characters. But I don't think Titans is the option. And when we go into Titan season 3, I worry that the Cadmus plot won't get wrapped up. If Blackfire, we really go into Tamaran, which sounds cool, but can they actually do it successfully? Can they continue to balance these characters? And
Well,
this
you know,
season
here,
has
here, here,
not
and
convinced
here's a
me.
hopeful. Just to interrupt for a second. Here's a hopeful sign is we did enjoy the first 4 or 5 episodes this season of
Yes, yes,
Titans
yes, yes.
season 2. So it can work, and maybe and the hope here is that hopefully the final 2 episodes will bring back that nice energy where everybody is at the same site. That seems to be where they're headed. And then hopefully next season again they'll realize what worked really well. I think there's a way they can tell just by checking social media and that kind of thing as to people's reactions to these various stories.
yeah. And like, so as far as what could be, how to improve or whatever, like the season 3, like I remember posting on a similar discussion thing, like one of the threads on the DCU. Like, I feel like they've done a good enough job, giving backstory to characters. I don't think they need to introduce any more. I think it's a good lineup as it is. If they could just focus like the next season on have like, contained 1 to 3 episodes where, they're fighting a bad guy, like doing that kind of thing. And like, yeah, don't add any more. If you are gonna add anyone else, have it be Cyborg or Flash, or Kid Flash, And Superboy, like, shucks, man, I would take just a spin-off Superboy series. I think he would be that would have some pretty good potential for that show. And like with the Warner Brother, like the HBO Max thing or whatever it is, like if like the DCU app thing is leaning towards more just like the comic stuff, like I would kind of be okay with it just because like HBO would have like the bigger budget to like do things like with that they're having that Green Lantern show that's going to come out. I mean, I'm super excited for that, and I wouldn't be too bummed out if like they took the reins on like doing some of the DCU like shows because I feel like they could just possibly do it better justice with a bigger budget.
Yeah, and that's where I'm hoping HBO Max is going. I don't think they are. And so in that sense, I'm a little worried. So I think the CW is doing wonderful. I'm super excited for what the CW is doing. But I think DC doesn't quite know what to do.
Warner
with, like,
sure has
DC
competition
Universe.
with Disney, right? I mean, if you've been watching even just these first new Disney Plus shows, the Star Wars show going on right now, things like that.
I kind of want DC to just put all its eggs in its baskets in the CW franchise and really focus on really just trying to create like a lot more shows, like with the rumored Martian Manhunter, and all the stuff they're doing next year. I think that that's a much better route to take stuff because the world already feels very full, and they have and like I think DC fans get really excited, and they keep having these shows like Batwoman, which are getting this new audience. So I think that there's a lot of potential by doing the CW verse and just putting all their eggs in that basket. And I don't think Titans is the right universe, right, to dedicate all these eggs into the basket. And I think Titans needs more focus and like more spin-offs because I think it needs more time. The main series needs more time to breathe. But I don't think it's going to be the best investment for HBO. And honestly, I guarantee someone listening to this is going to be like, your ideas are horrible, Nathan. I'm like, well, I'm kind of just burnt out at this point on Titans. Anyway, sorry to be pessimistic.
Well, I want to see how the season plays out because I don't have to worry about spin-offs. Because first, I want to see because for some reason it feels like they're seeing what sticks, and they can do a thing with Tamarin, a couple of episodes there where it gets settled so she can hang out on Earth. But I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, as far as like the CW, interject whenever you want, AntLeon. But like, man, I really don't want the CW to get their hands on any more DC properties. Like, I'm not a fan.
Really?
Oh, super really, like really donkey. Like, like the only one I still watch is The Flash, and that one's like super hit or miss with episodes. Like, I don't like the
Although it's gotten really good lately. Like this season's been a lot better.
Because I've been watching CW the whole time, and if they're gonna grow that universe, it should be slower because they don't want to overdo it on that front, in my opinion. So the growth is good. They're cutting out Arrow finally. It's been a good run, but it should have been. I'm looking forward to the final episode of the final series, or the series finale of that one. But for me, the CW shows have been exactly what I've been looking for. It's light in a way. You have to be edgy where they have to be edgy and whatever. But maybe it's my low expectations. I like all the CW shows.
Yeah, right. And I think Green Arrow's been really good this season. I think Flash has been really good this season. Supergirl's been great this season. Some people aren't a big fan of Batwoman, but I'm really liking the season. I haven't seen Black Lightning this season yet, but my understanding is it's wonderful again, as always. But so I think the CW is just doing everything right, and I get why someone like Aquaman, like, you're hesitant to like, and you're not as enjoying it as much as you used to. But I really like what they're doing with the CW franchise, and I'm super excited for Crisis. And I'm not looking forward to Titans in any sense as I'm looking forward to like to Crisis or the next episode of Arrow. Like I'm just looking forward to that stuff so much more. And
I
I
hear
think
you. It's just a
it's
preference for me. Like I just don't like
right,
the format.
right.
It's just got stale. Like I feel a tighter story, like the 22 episode thing. Like I feel there's too much filler. Like like when they create just unnecessary drama and
They've
stuff.
been
Like I would rather have.
so
Oh,
what
go
they're
on, bud.
really focusing on this season is what they're really focusing on season. I think Crisis on Infinite Earths is part of it. Is they're really focusing on creating these wonderful 8-7 episode arcs this year. Because the Flash is the current Flash arc is gonna be over before Crisis starts. The current Supergirl arc is gonna be over before Crisis starts. The current Arrow arc is gonna be more or less over before Crisis starts. Because everything's building towards Crisis. Black Lightning is just doing its own thing, which is I think 16, 17 episodes. And I think and Batwoman's, I don't fully know how Batwoman's going to do it this year, but all of them haven't really had a lot of filler this season, which is part of why I'm really enjoying them. And I don't know if you listened to our coverage of them last week, but when we did the CW check-in, and if you want to hear our new 52 of my more in-depth thoughts, do that. But I just think what the CW is doing is just working, and I don't see that with what Titans is doing. And that's not to say this is bad. It's just it's having a rough patch, and it's really dismaying me. And when you're only 2 seasons in, right? We're only on the second season. Titans should at this point be more together than it is. And having bad episodes is more
Well,
worrisome
I
of its
made the
future.
joke Friday that Doom Patrol seemed to be more rational and sane in the plot lines than the current season 2 of Titans. And frankly, Doom Patrol was deliberately insane. So it's just funny watching Titans just absolutely almost like someone took a script and just took a pair of scissors, split it in a million directions, and threw it back together.
That's a good way to say it. I understood what was going on with Doom Patrol much better than understanding what's going on with Titans, even though Doom Patrol is 2 billion times more weird.
It
Man,
was
I can't
very
wait for Doom
weird,
Patrol's
very all
future.
over the place, totally unrelated episodes that are all just deliberately insane on purpose. And that's how this is going off, unfortunately.
Yeah, Doom
Yeah.
Patrol was definitely their